Hello everyone, my name is Ian Castle and I'm back with another singing lesson. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to sing with more power. And this topic was suggested to me by one of my YouTube subscribers, Nichea, I think your name is. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. So there are 4 things that you can do to create more power in your voice. Now, the first one that we have to talk about is breath support. The second is the onset of sound, whatever that is, right? Third is resonance. And fourth is projection. Now, all these 4 things, they work together to create a really resonant, balanced, powerful tone that doesn't tire your voice out. Okay, so let's talk about breath support first. Now, what is that? Well, when you breathe in, your goal is to try to get your air into the lower half of your lungs to create this ballooning effect of your lower ribs and your upper abdomen. Now, we don't want to breathe in and have all the air trapped in the top half of the lungs because it actually creates quite a bit of tension. Okay, so we need to relax all the upper body and breathe in and try to make this ballooning expansion of the lower ribs and abdomen. Now, you can strengthen this by tensing your legs, your glutes and your lower abdomen. This will this will support your sound and your air a little bit more. But everywhere from about the belly button up, no tension. Okay, we just want expansion. Okay, so that's step 1. Now, you should, if you've seen my other videos on how to breathe for singing, go back and watch that because that will explain how to get the air into that lower part of your lungs, right? So step 2 is the onset of sound. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's a fancy way of saying the relationship between your exhale and your vocal cords. Now, there are 3 ways that these 2 things can interact with each other. First is what's called a soft attack. This is where the vocal cords are completely open, okay? So you get this type of effect. Ha, 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 ha. Now, the vocal quality, the tone quality is very breathy. It's nearly impossible to get any type of power out of this attack of the voice. So that's not very efficient. As a singer, we want to be as efficient as possible. We don't want that unless we're after a breathy effect. Now, on the other end of the scale is what's called the hard attack. It goes like this. Ah, 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 ah. Now that's where the vocal cords are opening and closing very violently and the air is just rushing through, rushing through, rushing through. Now, while this will create more power, more volume and intensity, it's also a little bit abusive on the voice. So that's also not really ideal unless you're going for that really emotive type one singular note where you want to give it a lot of guts, basically. Now, the most ideal one is what's called the balanced onset of sound, or the balanced attack. Now it goes like this. Ah, 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 ah. Now if I slowed that right down, you'll hear my voice go from vocal fry into a tone. Ah, ah, ah. Now what this does, it gradually lets the vocal cords unzip. And the air, it was released through the cords in a very pressurized but gentle way, if that makes sense. So that's our ideal relationship between the cords and the air. Now, after that step, this is where we want to then manipulate the tone. Now, we can do this by having a look at resonance. Now, your tone can resonate in different areas of your face and your throat. So if you open up the back of your throat, ah, ah, you're naturally going to have a bigger sound because your voice is going to resonate in a bigger chamber. Now if I close up my throat, ah, ah, the sound isn't anywhere near as big or full because there's just not enough space for the sound to resonate compared to the open throat. Now you can add nasality to give your voice a ping, to give it an energy to cut through the air, like this. Ah, 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 ah. Now that's working together with the open throat to create a full sound, but also one which is quite bright. Now, opera singers do this all the time because they have to stand on a stage and in front of them is an orchestra in a pit, and their voice has to cut through the sound the orchestra is making into the auditorium or the concert hall, wherever they're singing. And to do this, they implement those 4 things: breath support, onset of sound, resonance. Well, I haven't talked about the 4th thing yet. The 4th thing is projection. And this relates to what I was just about to say anyway. What you focus on with your voice will usually determine how much volume you're going to produce. Now, let's say you've got your phone, right, and you're looking at lyrics, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to read my lyrics and sing. Now, what you're going to do is probably project to your phone, which is that far away, which is not going to be a very dynamic sound, really. So what you need to do is do things like, put your hand right down in front of you and sing to the palm of your hand, and imagine your air is hitting your hand as you sing. Focus on the air rather than the sound. So you would be singing like, ah, ah, ah. This is going to create a consistency to your voice and tone because your air is traveling and you're giving your voice momentum. So if you're standing on a stage, instead of singing to the front row, sing to the back of the theatre, the back wall, and pick a very specific point on the back wall so that your voice is focused and projected. So, the 4 things again: breath support, which then relates to the onset of sound, which is then manipulated by your resonance, and then you could amp everything up by focusing your projection. Now, I hope that helps you. I come from that world. I come from the classical world. I was a professional opera singer back in my mid-20s. And I can sort of relay all this information and make it appropriate for different styles. And it can be applied to every style. Okay, so it's not just a classical thing. You can absolutely use these techniques in pop singing, jazz, music theatre, whatever your thing is. So yeah, I hope that you like this video. If you want to see more of these, and especially while I'm growing this channel again, the engagement at the moment, it's quite small because I've taken a big break, right? So if you want personalized videos like Nichea, just ask me. I'm committed to doing these much more regularly now. So yeah, put in the comments below what you'd like me to talk about and do a lesson on, and I'll do my best to give you some awesome value. Anyway, that's it for now. Please share it, like it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.